This past week, Anthropic just dropped Claude Design. And if you're a design studio or a marketing agency, this is really going to change how you create client deliverables. Along with the release of Opus 4.7, I'm also going to show you how I'm using this to create client-facing branded reports, custom dashboards, and even LinkedIn banners. Okay, so now I'm on the Claude website right now, and to access design, you would just head right below the code section over here. And now we're in Claude Design. As now to access Claude Design, you need a Pro, Max, or Team, or Enterprise subscription. Essentially, you need a subscription with Claude to be able to access this. It's currently in research preview, as most of these solutions tend to start out as. But yeah, the main thing you need to notice here is the interface. The interface is very user-friendly. It's like a lovable style interface or something I'm very familiar with, even Gamma if you were drawing parallels over here. And you've got three main options. You've got prototype, which is the prototypes we can wireframe or build something in high fidelity, as they call it, a slide deck, or even choose something from a template that you have. Now, this is going to be game changing for agencies and design studios. You can set up your design system over here. This is where you set up your brand assets once. And once you have this set up, then it's pretty much your brand kit or your brand assets that you can use and bring in to every single slide deck or every single prototype you're creating from then. So let's go ahead and set it up. You click on Setup Design System, and then that's going to bring you over here. Now, we're going to go ahead and fill this out based on your specs. So for here, company name, I'm just going to say along the lines for my own company, Apt AI Systems, we'll say Apt AI Systems is an AI consultancy that serves marketing agencies and consultants on building AI systems for their fulfillment and sales processes. And we're going to go in here and complete the rest. So provide examples of your design work, products. You can link code on GitHub over here. So if you have any GitHub projects already, you're building in Claude Code, you can even add this over here. I'm not going to add any for here. And then you can upload your Figma files onto here as well. So if you have any wireframes built on Figma, if you have brand kits and assets designed on a Figma file, you can add them here too. Add fonts, logos, and assets. I'm going to go ahead and add mine. And then we can go ahead here and add any notes if we'd like to do that as well. I'm going to leave this blank for now, and I'm just click on continue generation. It's going to take about 5 minutes to generate our design system. That's cool. We set it up once, and then we can use this again and again. As you can see, in this case, we'd probably use this to set up a brand system or a brand design that we can use to generate client-facing reports or even different kind of prototypes or slides, etc. That's why I really recommend having this set up at the start. So we're just going to wait until this is set up. And key thing to know here while it's actually setting up everything, that this is powered by Opus 4.7. Like I mentioned, the model is able to actually run a lot longer than its predecessor Opus 4.6 or any of the other flagship models. And so it really makes sense to be using it, and it's a good job for them to pair it up with Claude Design. If you take a look over here, you can see that it's actually notice the SVG and then the profile of the actual word mark and the watermark itself. So it's actually breaking it down. It's actually creating the entire assets for you. Okay, so it's actually gone and created a review of the design system over here. This is going to be the brand DNA or the brand kit that we'll be using. So far, it's done a good job. I want to say it says that missing brand fonts, essentially just asking for us to upload our fonts over here. I don't mind too much for the sake of this video. To substitute it, we use a HK Grotesque, and it got pretty close with Space Grotesque, so I'm happy there either way. And then it gives you sections here to actually go and review different elements that will make up your brand DNA or your design system, as Claude calls it. So in this case, shadows and glow, fine with that. Those are little things. It's also created a marketing site, which is really cool. It's actually very similar to our website over here. And it has the hero section, very standard. It has the systems and the service offerings, the process and delivery and everything like that, pricing. I really like what this has done. And honestly, if you don't have a business or if you want to take a stab at creating a website, marketing website, this is something that's actually really good. And this is probably something I would use if I didn't have one myself already. So I could just click on looks good to approve it. And then that's what you're doing is you're basically just going through the different tabs here and you're just approving them. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to approve all of them. They all look good to me. And they honestly do. They look really good. Iconography also looks really cool. I think voice and tone, this is something you want to be paying attention to. So, you come off in something that's authentic and not AI generated. And yeah, everything else looks good here. And we should be good. Once you do that, you publish it and we should be all set with the design system. Now, for use cases, here are some common use cases that we'd be using Claude Design for. I know I get a lot of requests for automating and generating monthly reports for agencies, and that's a big thing. And I feel like this Claude design would be very helpful for something like that. So let's go ahead and actually create one. As you see, I've already created several different demos for this. We're going to say monthly report for Terran Bloom. Terran Bloom is the fictitious plant pot e-commerce brand that we've created in our last video. So we're going to go ahead and create a monthly report for them. So I've actually gone ahead and created a prompt already. This is what it looks like. Create a monthly report using my design system structured around 3 questions. So what do we want to work on this month? What are we working on next month? And is there anything the client can do to help us? And essentially, we're giving it context that we want to generate a deck. I don't know if you've seen that before, but let me just open a new tab here. From the 3 different options that they have pre-built, you can build a prototype, which is more closer to a website. You have a wireframe or the chance to be high fidelity, in their words. And then you have a slide deck. So this is what we were looking for with our monthly report. And then you can even generate one from a template, and that can be an animated one as well. In this case, we want to be generating a deck. So we're going to go with that. And this is the prompt over here. Very simple. We're going to go ahead and just send this and see what questions it asks us. So Claude Design, for the week I've been using it, will essentially take your requests and ask you follow-up questions. Very similar to the flagship models Opus would be asking if you want to have a big undertaking or a more larger task execution. I'm just going to go ahead and answer all of these. So who is Terran Bloom? I'm just going to give them a description on the website or the company and everything like that. And I'll just let you know when I'm done with this. Okay, so I've just gone ahead and filled out all these pieces of information over here: color direction, aesthetic direction, specific projects. I've just fed it information on what the project is. So this is going to be a fictitious ads campaign that we ran for this brand over here. And what I'll do after that is click on continue. It's actually going to go and launch this and begin working on this. So this is going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, I want to say, with my testing. So we're going to check back when it's done. Okay, so it's just got done and actually came back with quite a comprehensive, very nice looking report, if I do say so myself. Let's actually go through it. So our marketing agency, I gave it information, is We Never Miss. That's the name of our marketing agency, fictitious over here. And one mistake I see over here is Terra to Bloom. The brand's name is Terra and Bloom. So I've just written that over here, and I'll send that off as an edit for it to make. But walking through the rest of this over here, it's done a really good job with the types and the font over here. Gave it a client description, the engagement itself. So we're running paid social. That was right. TikTok shop, creative production, and lifecycle email. A full service agency, if I do say so myself. It's a lot of things going on at the same time. But what did we work on this month? So essentially just the first of the 3 questions over here. Yeah, this agency has a lot on their hands with this client. But yeah, just walking through the rest of it just gives you a one-liner, our first full month, our running acquisition and lifecycle in parallel, meta creative out the door, Klaviyo. So it's very brief, I want to say, with this description, which is one pointer I gave it. So I'm really happy with that. I like the different use cases, the different sizes of the text as well, the hero and the sub-hero text. And yeah, I like this narrative style as well. That's another pointer I gave it. Quiet but decisive month. And then it goes to unfold what has happened, the quality and the performance of these outbound systems and the meta ads that we have been building for this company. And then also metrics over here. Very cool. I like the way it's presented. I would probably have these a little larger than they currently are, so it's easier to view in a presentation style. But other than that, this is one-shotted and it's done quite a good job already. And I'm just going to go through the rest of this, talking more about the services and what's for next month. And then the ask of anything we need to iterate on. I really like the way that they organize this. I didn't give it any pointers on a few small things or the way to structure this slide over here, but it's actually done a quite good job. So I'm very happy with that. And then this one too, I was very impressed with. Again, didn't give it any pointers on how to structure this page over here, but it's actually done a really good job. And if you can see over here, it's just a higher level on the weekly performance, which is always good to have. Top subject lines, which is very cool. Weekly trend, open clicks, and then target versus actuals. So it's pretty much built a reporting dashboard or a reporting analytics within the monthly report, which is always something you want to have. And I really like the way it's cascaded the narrative into this final page over here. So overall, I really like it. This is something I'd actively be using with my clients as well. And yeah, this is really cool. Now, here's another use case I've spared you the time of actually gone and creating. It took me about 3 minutes as well, is an onboarding document. So this is essentially very typical in marketing agencies and agency services where you find when you're working with your clients, the back and forth when it comes to trying to get them onboarded onto your services takes a lot of time, especially if you're running it through email or through Slack. And days go by, if not, to actually have them onboard and have that kickoff call with you. So this is a solution that I feel is going to be very useful and is actually quite tasteful. It was built within Claude Design, exactly how I specified it. Here's the prompt over here: create a client onboarding page for Acme Corp. They signed up for their AI marketing system package that we have, and then include basically the welcome message, what the timeline is going to look like, week 1, week 2, and then the months, and then the key deliverables at each stage. So very simple, very basic requirements that you would like to present to the client when you're onboarding them. And it's actually gone ahead and created an HTML web page for this. This is very cool. And I would say from a functionality standpoint, sending these custom onboarding documents, I see will be a lot more effective than doing this over email. It'll be just a one-shot quick read that they can scan through, understand what the project and process is about, click on these buttons over here in theory, and go and sign into the Slack Connect workspace, as well as get their shared Google Drive. It's actually very cool over here. So if you take a deep dive, welcome goes through sort of the system. Right off, we have a CTA. I haven't actually given this as a requirement over here, so it's very cool that it sensed that this is what it's for. I just gave it a background on us being a marketing agency, so book that kickoff call. So this is very cool. I actually haven't given too much in the pointers for this as well, but it's designed it exactly how I would, where in theory you'd click this and you'd go into Slack, click this and go into the shared drive. So they have everything they need in this one onboarding system. It's very easy as opposed to going through different onboarding emails. So I would much rather recommend you set up something like this for your clients as opposed to having it in the emails itself. You can pick a time on the calendar as well. Really like this over here. And the cool thing about Claude Design is you can actually tweak all of these things. You can choose them. So for tweaks, I want to be able to tweak the accent, dark and light mode. I think light is too jarring, so I'll stay with dark over there. And then the timeline layout itself. So these are things I've actually asked Claude in the questions. When you actually give out a prompt like this, it'll ask you follow-up questions that I want to be able to split test. So you don't have to recreate this every single time. You can just have a look at the tweaks over here and see which one fits you. So in my case, I actually like the stack too, but since we're scanning, I think it's better if you have something vertical. And then personally, I like the orange a lot more. There you go. That's the entire onboarding document created in 5 minutes. And this is something I'd strongly recommend you do as well. Yeah, and all you have to do here, if you want to ship this and actually make this usable and actually connect those two connections over here with Slack and Google Drive, is click on this share on the top right over here, and then head down to hand off to Claude Code. And once you do, that's going to give you this excerpt over here. If you have the Claude desktop app, you can just go ahead and copy this and paste it into a Claude Code session. If not, you can just continue on the Claude web itself. So just for the sake of variance, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the Claude desktop. Cool. So I'm in my Claude desktop app right now. I just created a new session, which is essentially just like a new chat if you're not familiar with Claude Code. And I've actually gone ahead and just literally pasted what it gave me over here. It's actually done a web search and it's found that exact URL where we have this HTML hosted. It's actually going to download it, use it, and then we can actually go from there, build it locally, and add the connections using the Slack API and the Google OAuth credentials to connect Google Drive as well. And if that sounds very confusing and complex, don't have to worry about it at all. It basically just does everything for you in Claude Code. Just going to give you instructions on how to go and get those credentials for you as well. So pretty much everything is handled with Claude Code, and that's why I strongly recommend it. I'm going to be making videos on Claude Code as well. And that should get you up and running, and you should have this actually functional. Now, 2 more use cases I found quite helpful for myself has to do with LinkedIn. Let's check them out. So the first one I have is with LinkedIn Banner. So this is something I personally, it was a long time coming. It was long overdue for myself, but my LinkedIn banner is nothing very cool, nothing too hot. And it was about time for me to change this. So what I did is I went over to Claude Design and started a new project. This time I went to Other, and I've actually created a new one because they don't fit a slide deck or prototype of what I wanted. This is more free form, so I went and clicked on other, and I've actually gone ahead and just given this very simple prompt. So I said, I want you to help me design my LinkedIn banner. And I just gave it the size and the aspect ratio of what a LinkedIn banner is, typically the size it takes up. And then I've just given it my brand kit, given it my logo, and I've given it a few examples of successful LinkedIn banners. And it's gone ahead and created all of this again in no time. And it's actually done a great job. I'm really impressed with the different variants that they have over here. This one's more workflow oriented. I think I'm leaning toward this already. This one's more bold. This one has the option to add stacks. So you can essentially add logos of your stack over there. Very cool as well. I like this too. This has a little text element or a GIF element over here. I like that too. This one's a little more muted. I like this too. I think honestly, I'm going to go with this one here. But yeah, this is extremely helpful. And I would recommend you do this as well. Assets and generating assets with Claude Design is something I really see going to be game changing. Not just reports, we're talking about generating creatives, assets, social media, page elements even. And one last use case over here, which has also been incredible, is LinkedIn carousels. So this for the longest has been a struggle for me generally to create these. I've used several different platforms like GenSpark, I've used Gamma, and I just figured I'd try this over here too, and it's done an incredible job. Very simple prompt over here, create a LinkedIn carousel, gave it the specs, told it the pages. I want 5 pages and I want it to be under 3 MB. So, it's easier to actually upload this. And then I've also given it some more information about what the slides should have. But honestly, it was very simple, very granular information about what I want the slides to have. And funnily enough, this carousel is about how to create carousels. For elements, I gave it the brand kit and I gave it some logos. I gave it the Claude logo. I gave it the screenshots that you'll see over here. And let's see how it's done. So pretty much it's created a really good hero or first page. And then the second one is systems design setup, exactly how I asked it. It's also gone and add the screenshot over here, and it's actually cropped it in a way that makes it really pop out and look very good. Spin up a new project in Claude Design, choose other, name your carousel, and attach the design system. Very cool. Very impressed over here. I like the way it creates these hero texts over here, optimizing for virality if you like it. Yeah, very cool. And then it also has a CTA over here, follow for more Claude productivity and design, and then it has that badge over there, which is really cool. So all you'd have to do in this case is click on share. I'm just going to resize over here. Share and download it as a PDF, and that becomes a carousel you can upload to LinkedIn right now. And I've done that. It's on my LinkedIn page. And I really feel like that's where they're going to be positioning themselves to have solopreneurs and agencies build assets like this at record pace. Okay, so there you have it. These are my recommendations and exact workflows that I use and how I'm using Claude Design. And if you found this video useful, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be releasing YouTube videos like this every single week. And if you're an agency and you'd like our help to set up systems like this in your business, it's the first link in the description. Click that, and it's going to be a 30-minute free consultation with myself where we'll identify potential use cases on how we can use Claude and other AI systems to help you and your business. That said, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.